I'm a Democrat.
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 I'm a Democrat. Okay, so why don't we introduce ourselves? I'll go first. My name's Angel.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Christina.
I'm Brock.
I'm Zakia.
Steven.
Cool. So where's everybody from?
I'm originally from the Bronx, but I live here in LA now.
I live here in the Los Angeles area.
I'm from Guatemala. I don't know if you guys can hear from my accent, but I live in LA.
I'm from Ohio, but I live in LA.
I'm here, born and raised.
All right, from Florida, Winter Haven, but I live in West Hollywood now.
Originally from Texas, but I've lived here in California now most of my life.
Steven, when he said he was from Texas, it seemed a little suspicious.
Really quickly, do you guys have what positions are you most passionate about?
LGBT rights, immigration, things like that. So.
Disabilities. So I have 2 children, each have a different disability. So for me, that's a huge cause.
I think employee rights, LGBT rights for me as well.
Oh yeah, definitely the same. I would say employee rights, LGBT rights, incarceration issues.
How many of us are queer? Can you raise your hand? Is that okay? Raise your hand. It's a safe space. We can be queer. It's okay.
What about important issues for you two?
The environment for sure, LGBT rights, and just women's rights in general.
Okay. Maybe Christina's the one throwing us off with this rainbow top and be incognito.
I think she was too quiet, to be honest. She was just waiting for everybody to vote each other out and kind of leave her to the side. For me, it's immigration. As you guys, I came here legally, so another thing, I'm an HR manager, so for me, diversity and inclusion is a lot.
So you said that you came over through the process and stuff. How do you feel about people who didn't?
Look, the sun shines for everybody, so you gotta do what you gotta do, to what's best for you.
Okay. That was the answer I wanted to hear, and I was praying you'd say. I was just please.
For me, it's clean energy and increasing funding for scientific research, and also diversity, of course.
No, where do you guys consume your news? Where do you find out what's going on politically?
I watch Hassan a lot.
I love him.
I love Hassan, mostly because I'm attracted to him.
Me too.
Please react to this.
Mine's just Apple, because I have my phone, I check news sources regularly, so it's whatever comes across the feed.
Like Fox News?
They have it sometimes, but it's mostly like Vox, Atlantic.
If it's not in your algorithm, it won't come up. So I think that definitely solidified it to me, that it was Steven.
It's all over the spectrum pretty much. So I try to get a good sampling, and because I know the truth is somewhere in the middle of that.
Okay.
I like Univision.
There's some sharp questions. I was like, oh my God.
My handwriting's really ugly, I'm sorry.
The way he was dressed, I think he was overdoing it. And when you're coming to a show where there's 5 other Democrats, there's no need to prove that point.
Definitely Steven, middle-aged white guy. Whether he is or isn't, it just makes sense to sort of eliminate someone that instantly raises suspicions.
She immediately said Fox News. Like if you're a Republican, you're immediately gonna go there.
I feel like I voted for Christina because she just seemed kind of not as loud as everyone else.
I voted for Christina not because I suspected her, but I just needed somebody to vote out first.
What? That's crazy.
What?
Wow.
I am appalled. I feel like it's pretty obvious it's not me. I literally have blue hair. I think it's because they thought it was too obvious, so maybe I should have worn a different top.
Can I ask, if you didn't vote for Christina, who did y'all vote for?
Wow.
Yeah, I voted for Steven.
I voted for you.
Oh!
Wow.
Okay, so y'all should talk that out.
As soon as news hit, you immediately went to Fox News. That's
Yeah,
why I
because
voted for
I'm
you.
trying to catch a Republican. And you said yes, so I don't know.
Well,
I'm
that's
kind
what
of thinking.
I don't control what comes across Apple. It's all sorts of news stations.
Feels
So
defensive. Plus algorithms, I don't know. But we still have time to ask more questions.
Persistent
How would you
Fox.
define woke culture?
yeah, that's a tricky one because now it's become just like everything else. It's become politicized. It's become so divisive, which is how our nation is right now. Which is why we're in the mess we're in right now.
And then how would you define yourself?
Yeah, I think in this country we're just so obsessed with putting people into labels and boxes.
That's this game, but okay.
No, I mean,
I'll get out you. I'll get out you.
What about for you?
Other people.
What's
Yeah.
woke culture mean to
To
you?
me, woke culture means understanding what the issues are, being well informed about those issues, and being able to talk about them in a way that doesn't polarize people, but just saying this is what it is, right? It's facts, about slavery. It's facts about all these things. So
I just want to say, You're not suspicious to me. Like, I was just like, I do remember like, I'm just not.
It's like
suspicious
queer
of
black
you.
person mask presenting.
Which could be like to throw us off, but like
yeah.
I don't
It
think it
could be.
is.
I'm looking at you two right here. Like, what's the twist?
Listen, I only know of one conservative drag queen. She's literally was in a different video, and I'm not her because I'm pretty. So.
Oh my God. Shade. Where do each of us work? Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm an HR manager.
I'm an employment attorney for employees.
Oh, okay. So we
Yeah.
we're in the same boat.
What is it?
I profess.
Professor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Of what?
Finance, real estate, and law. I'm in
Oh,
business school.
okay. Okay, smart people here.
Looking more suspicious.
There's a lot of us that are there's a lot of us that are Democrats. Through that
Drag
process.
queen, content creator. Yeah.
Chef, restaurant manager.
Oh.
Ooh.
I thought, oh, he's a restaurant owner. If you're a business owner, you're probably more likely to be a Republican in a lot of contexts.
I'm an engineer, and
wow,
which is
very
why
cool.
I know a lot about technology, and that's why I care so much
energy.
about clean energy.
Yep.
What do you care about beyond environmentalism? Like, I feel like environmentalism is something like a lot of people could come together for.
Yeah, apart from clean energy and environmental, also diversity, you know. And I feel like the Republican Party is actively railing against these initiatives to have more diverse workforce, which goes counter to who I am.
Okay.
You know.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty with a real question. How do you feel about trans people, all of you?
Oh, I love trans people. I got like many trans friends. Like I sound like that guy who's like, I got black friends. Right.
For a moment, I was like, he was quick to say, he said, I love trans people.
For me, to be honest, like I said, the sun shines for everybody. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive in this country. So whether you're accepted by some or not accepted by others, look, as long as you have a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you're surviving, I think that's the most important thing to me.
Wow.
So for me, it's very important that you accept the people for who they are. Diversity is one thing, but inclusion is another thing. You gotta include them.
I asked about trans people, and he's like, well, they can just live their lives. I was like, he completely dodged the question.
I mean, you live your life. Like we are who we are. We can't change who we are. I don't very have many trans friends, but like I've been around gay people. Like I've talked to them. Like
Well, there's a
we have
difference
good
between
time.
gay people and trans people.
Oh no, I'm very much aware. Right.
Yeah.
I just mean like in terms of like the whole LGBTQ sphere.
All right, so for me, it's part of my existence of sort of my community, but it's also part of my work. I'm an employment attorney, and so I have a lot of clients that are LGBTQ that have been discriminated against at work. I represent them. I make sure they get what they deserve to the best of my ability. So to me, it's through and through.
Yeah, for me, it's, I work for the Cal State system. And so the name of the game is social mobility. How do you take the most vulnerable segments of the population and you help them to get to where everybody else is? A lot of my focus is on poverty. If you are LGBTQ, if you are a racial or ethnic minority, and you're poor, it's just that much worse. One of the worst things to be in this country is poor.
So we have
It's ridiculous.
30
It's like
seconds.
a problem that you
so-
could fix, but nobody's actually putting in the work to get that. Sorry.
Well, that was short-lived. I think I can guess who the real imposter is. But first, have you been a victim of a personal injury case? Every year, as a personal trainer, I meet so many clients that are in recovery from all sorts of injuries and accidents, ranging from car accidents, workplace injuries, and more. So I was definitely surprised to hear how many people lost their personal injury cases, which is why I'm here to talk about Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They specialize in a wide range of personal injury cases, and they've won thousands of big cases. So if you end up working with them, they'll fight for the money you deserve. Just recently, Morgan & Morgan has secured verdicts of $12 million in Florida and $26 million in Philly. That's up to 40 times the highest insurance offer. I'm telling you, your case can be worth millions. This guy I trained worked with Morgan & Morgan after he got into a horrible car crash. The other guys tried to get them to settle for $100,000, but Morgan & Morgan took it to trial and secured $2 million. The best part? It's all free unless you win your case. If you've also been a victim of a personal injury or any other serious accidents, you can visit www.forthepeople.com/Jubilee, found in the description below, to start your free claim today. Or you can scan the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. Thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this portion of this episode. Now let's get back to the video.
The second he started talking about the sunshine, I knew. I just wasn't buying it. Sorry about it.
Stephen felt like an easy vote. I was still on the fence about Anthony and Kevin.
I voted for Zakiya because, you know, being from Florida, Florida's a red state. I just didn't know if I could really believe everything that they were saying.
We've tallied the votes, and the results are a tie.
Wow. Okay.
Between Stephen and Zakiya.
Imagine
You
that.
will each have 40 seconds to make your case to the group.
Yeah, so I am not the Republican, I am a Democrat. In terms of LGBTQ, which came up a whole lot, I live with a trans person. My daughter is a lesbian. My wife is Demi. I was totally truthful when it came to social mobility. It's very important to me as a college professor. And yeah, that's basically it.
Well, I'm certainly not the Republican. I grew up in Florida, where I was oppressed because I was queer and black, and we didn't have a lot of money. I moved to California because I was like, I want to have my rights respected, and I also love the beach. I actually ran for political office in West Hollywood a couple years back. Very progressive city, and so I literally live, eat, and breathe, you know, protecting the rights of like democratic queer people. So it's not me.
Another tie.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What happens?
You need to convince each other to budge.
Oh my God, this is
We get to vote.
Okay.
So who voted for who? I voted for Stephen because I really don't think it's her.
I voted for Stephen, but I don't think it's either.
I don't think it's either of them.
Yeah.
I think the mole is standing right here with me.
Oh, wow.
I think it's one of you. I do.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's one of the four that's right here. But I voted for Zakiya. Just being an attorney, you know, kind of gave me the vibes. I feel like Stephen's also too obvious. You know,
That's why I said it's neither
For
of
me,
them.
I don't think he's obvious. I think it's way too bold of a lie.
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
I voted for Zakiya. I mean, she came from Florida. She says she wants to be at the beach. I'm like, there's, I think, better beaches in Florida. She's an attorney. I mean, if you look our financials, our income per group, I don't think either us immigrants or LGBT are there financially to say, hey, you know, I'm a real professor. Let's see what happens. You know?
Point who you guys want to choose.
I can't believe it. I mean, queer black person in America, not that it's impossible, but it feels impossible that I would be a Republican when all of my rights are literally on the line and being erased as we speak, so.
Please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game.
I have doubts.
All right, it's unanimous.
I want to know more about this middle area here because
I feel like we could have possibly already gotten the moles partially, I kind of feel, but then I feel like...
honestly,
they
I
might
don't
say-
think
We didn't.
Oh, no?
Unless
If
we were
I'm being
lucky the
honest,
first
I
round.
still have my doubts. I think I judged a little
If
prematurely.
I'm being honest, I think it is one of you two. One, there's been a larger shift towards black voters voting for Trump.
Oh, wow.
And that's the
still
only
don't
reason why
understand.
I suspect you,
That's
just because it's
terrible.
not me. The other reason is that there's also been like immigrants like coming into this country and then switching over to voting for Trump.
Yes.
That was my
But
concern.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's anything that
Also
you guys
doesn't
said.
make
It's
sense,
just
yeah.
because what's happening around
And it was
us.
just like the sun shines for everyone. That one's, it just felt so like anyone could say that, you know what I mean? Like, so I just want to know more. Like,
Okay, I can tell you my story. I came here illegally when I was 15. Across the desert, took me 2 days. People don't believe me, but I tell them, look, go to the Children's Hospital in LA, October 22nd, you'll see my records there. And this is why I'm in HR. Now I'm in charge of helping other people create that culture. Like, if you come in, you're somebody, you know, not just because of your past or what you went through. So that type of thing, that's why immigration is something that I love.
Whenever he was saying, oh, you can go here and find my records, and like, I thought that was over the top.
talking about immigration, that could go either way because Biden, we all know, has done a lot of deportations himself and the Obama administration as well. So I just felt like it's not, it could lean either way. Can we go around and just say how we feel about Trump? I feel like we haven't even talked about that.
I'll be very honest, you're not gonna like my answer to this. So Trump is the president that none of us want,
Right.
but he's the president that we deserve, and here's why. Here's why. No, I'm serious, here's
No,
why.
yeah.
Because we are so politically divisive.
Hold on.
If we don't get back as a country to compromise and bipartisanship, Trump's just the beginning. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Right.
I'll answer second since you guys think that it's me, but it's definitely not. I cut off family members, my own mom, for voting for Trump. Trump is the worst thing for America today, and that's what I'm worried about is today.
To be honest, I don't like the things that he said about people. Him calling all of Hispanics, let's put it Hispanics, rapists and all their things, it's not true. I'm part of that, and he's just lying about me, he's lying about my family, and lying to other people. So that's something we don't want to be perceived as, you know?
By the way, I just want to put that out there. I'm Latina. Like,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, we're not white.
Okay.
But as far as how I feel about Trump, I think he's going to win. I definitely think he's going to win, unfortunately, because our old man is barely kicking. And stop electing old people.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Our party needs to
People
get it
asking my
together.
ages, yes.
I think my biggest point against Trump is that he made it okay to hate. Sure, the racism was there, it was hidden, but when he comes out and he starts saying all these things like, rapists coming into the country and good people on both sides, stand back and stand by, and just, he made it okay in this nation to have a dialogue against other people, and it is resurging in a way like we've never seen before.
Right. How could a black person vote for Trump is my thing.
I
After
asked myself the same
Charlottesville-
question.
It makes
After
no
Charlottesville,
sense.
you said you ask yourself that same question? So you
Because-
might be voting for Trump?
No, because I've had this talk with people who do vote, or not people who Trump, but like,
Look, I don't judge people for being a Republican. Well, maybe a little, but I would judge them worse if they didn't have the Nectar app.
I voted for Barack because he had slipped up and said a comment about black people voting for Trump. Is that, you voting?
My strategy coming in was that the Trump supporter talks a lot. Anthony just really couldn't stop talking, so.
We have tallied up the votes, and the result is another tiebreaker.
Oh my gosh.
Tiebreaker is between Brock and Anthony.
oh man.
Gag.
You got 40 seconds to make your case for why they shouldn't vote for you, and then we'll do a revote.
So, I'm gay as I work with BLM. I know Republicans would never do that. I organize for Palestine. I grew up in a really large family. I'm all about sharing. I'm all about diversity, communication. I work in a cuisine that's outside my culture, my race. So I had to dive in. I had to study this cuisine. So,
All right, let's talk about race. My family came to this country on ships and in chains. And we have worked to get to the point where I can stand before you today as an engineer and somebody who's achieved a lot in this life that people way generations before me would never have dreamed possible. I've seen a lot of talk from the Republican Party about how we shouldn't be talking about race in schools and just the erasure of the pain and the suffering that my predecessors have gone through. There are other things that I feel strongly about as well, but this is my one thing. Really?
you guys speak fast.
All right.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
Please
Expected as
exit
much.
the square, Brock.
I brought up the black conservative issue as a very risky strategy, mind you, and I think that came to bite me in the butt.
And then there were 4.
Please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game. Okay, now you got to convince each other. I'll give you 30 seconds to convince each other.
Who are people still suspicious of? Like, just right off the bat.
I'm suspicious of you two.
They started sussing me? Are you kidding?
I'm suspicious of being an
say it.
an immigrant, right? A lot of immigrants do vote for Trump, but they do vote for conservative, like a tendency, right? So I would say it's down between you two in my head, but then I'm kind of thinking
That's
that,
time. That's the 30.
I got the whole thing. Sorry,
All
guys.
right, you got to revote.
Anthony talks too much, and everyone needs to know that.
I talk too much.
Please raise your hand if you'd like to continue playing the game.
All right.
So the majority has decided to stop playing the game. If the lights turn green, you have successfully voted the mole out and you win. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. Here we go.
I knew it. I knew it. I was the only one who voted to continue the game.
Oh, damn.
When I count to 3, can the mole please step forward? 1, 2, 3.
I knew it! I knew it!
I literally
I don't want to see.
I needed to continue the game.
I knew
Where's
it.
my
Sorry,
camera?
Steven.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anthony.
I literally voted for him so many times.
I'm sorry. I thought it was you. I did.
Just because I'm Latino, people already assume that I'm Democrat when I'm a full Republican.
Kevin was the mole. I knew it. I said it in the round.
I let my stereotype get the better of me. Because for me, it was, oh, he's a successful engineer, he's an entrepreneur. If we had to go another round, I was going to definitely vote Kevin.
I was right, and more people need to trust me.
Okay, hi guys.
Ay.
Okay, so everything I said is true though. I am a Republican now. I was a Democrat before. The thing that made me switch to being Republican is because I had a couple friends that got deported with Biden's administration that I thought was very, very unfair. Biden has 2 or 3 times more deportations than Trump does. That tells me something. When Trump was trying to get the finances to build the wall, as an exchange, he was willing to offer citizenship to people that had DACA and that came here and that went to high school, graduated high school. Through my research, I found out that Democrats said no. So that kind of struck me like, okay, why would you say no when you're out there all about like, oh, immigrants? Another one, I'm a veteran from the US Army. The VA funding, all Democrats voted against it. I have disabilities, I go to the VA for healthcare a lot, and I don't have the finances to go to an independent doctor. So that kind of made me do it, because Republicans are more for our veterans. I was able to get my mom, who's an immigrant with criminal record, her green card through a Republican program called Parole in Place. Those are my interests, my family's interests, so that is why I voted.
I think so many people are Democratic or Republican, liberal or conservative for very different reasons. But you should listen to people who have different opinions than you. Keep an open mind, keep an open heart, give yourself an opportunity to learn.
This election year, a lot is going on. Just have faith in whatever you decide. We'll get through it together as a country.
Please vote in November. It's way too important not to. We have to make sure that our rights are secured.
There's more than just the president that we're voting on. There are policies and other people being elected. Please make your voice heard, no matter how small you think it is. Please just go out there and vote.
Trump is a capitalist. That's something I like from him. I like my pockets full. Oh, shoot. Oh, I just start for everybody here. Oh, shit.